From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on Core TV News.
I'm back, and it's a very interesting mood for Nigerians, especially for southwest Nigeria. Many are of the opinion that Mr. President has now shifted his base to Lagos with the frequent visits he's making there. And you also recall that the PDP Governors Forum, for the first time in a long time, shifted their meeting to Lagos. Today, however, Buhari and Osinbajo are expected in Lagos, as well as the First Lady, popularly called Mama Peace, would also be visiting Lagos today. But let's turn our attention to Ekiti State ahead the rescheduled elections. I'm joined this morning by SA2 Ekiti State Governor on Communication and New Media, LERE OLAYINKA. Good morning, and thank you for finding time to join us.
Good morning.
Now, many are of the opinion, some interesting political watchers are of the opinion that your principal has been at the center of many political controversies. Now, on one part, they are skeptical about whether a governor of a state should be that critical of issues, and for someone who has only one term in office, maybe should be focused more on the legacies he will leave behind.
You see, politics and governance the two go together, and we are in election period. You don't expect my governor to sit back. You see, I've said it several times. When you steal, when you are an APC and you steal, you are not a thief. You are a patriotic Nigerian trying to make things right. But when you leave APC and go and steal somewhere else, that is when they begin to call you a thief. The governors like Rotimi Amechi have been so critical of the president. Governor like Okanso, unfortunately, I don't know why now. In the last 1-2 months, he has been silent. Some of this, Fashola has said a lot of unprintable or a lot of trash about on the person of the president. To them, that would be right. Lai Mohammed sleep and wakes up every day criticizing President Jonathan. That is right. But when Fayose now speaks, and he speaks the truth, they'll tell you that his own is too much. What is his problem? And Fayose is a PDP person, and is somebody who is interested in the truth. His interest is to uphold the truth, and that is where he stands.
But what do you make of the advertorial on the front pages of some national dailies where he insinuated that Buhari was going to die in office?
He did not insinuate. You see, we get sentimental about issues in most cases. My governor did not say Buhari would die, because Governor Fayose is not God. It is only God that knows who will die and who will not die. But even in the Bible, it is said that it is believed that 70 years is the peg. So when you are above 70 years, it is believed that you are on extra time.
Are you aware that there are presidents around the world who are over 70?
There are presidents around the world who are over 70.
Even past presidents of the United States over 70.
There are some presidents.
Mugabe is way over 70.
You are talking about Mugabe, and you should also talk about the kind of opposition from the Western world against Mugabe.
What about the former United States president who was over 70 before he contested election?
That was when. We are talking about, you see, when we are talking about 2015, some people will be talking about, they'll be taking us back to
the recent president of Namibia that won the award for being one of the best African leaders is way over 70.
You talk about Namibia. What is the population of Namibia? Let me tell you one thing. I heard the radio station, the TV station in Ekiti State, with staff strength of like 300 plus in Ekiti. I know the kind of prayer the white hair was, they were not as many as this 3-4 months ago. They keep increasing every day because of the prayer of running broadcasting service of Ekiti State alone. Not to talk of running the entire country, not to talk of running the entire state Ekiti and running the entire country Nigeria. Again, we are talking about a Buhari who at 41 became head of state. The man did not exhibit the attribute of somebody that is strong intellectually. And I'll tell you why. In the issue of military rule in this country, the only government that you refer to as Buhari Idiagbon, that you have to attach the name of the deputy to the government is Buhari, because he could not withstand the prayer of office then, that he had to hand over his government to his deputy.
But I'm wondering what exactly that message insinuated, if it did not insinuate that Buhari was going to die in office. There were pictures of past leaders of the country from a particular part of the nation who died in office.
From a particular part of the country, Northwest.
And not even all of them died in office, however. Some of them were killed. So many also have...
They were killed, they died. But let me tell you one thing. The same people who were at the forefront of Yaradua, may so rest in peace now, fine person, fine president, that I believe that ought to have ruled this country for at least 8 years. But as at the time they were going to prop up Yaradua to become president, the people who brought him up knew his health status. They knew that this person was not strong enough health-wise to be Nigerian president.
Your principal rather has not at any time been able to substantiate this proof. I mean, this allegation of Buhari's health status.
Let me take you back to the London trip. You see, Buhari traveled to London. He passed through Abuja airport. There was no photograph of Buhari leaving the airport. They came back to tell us that when he got to the airport, he met people on the queue to board his flight. They told us that Buhari joined the queue. That picture is a front page photograph in any newspaper. I am a media manager. If you come back to tell me that my governor went to Mr. Biggs to buy food and he joined the queue and you can't give me the picture, I will sack the photographer. It means that issue of Buhari lining up on the
but you saw him at the Chatham House giving what they refer to now as one of the best political speeches in Nigeria. Look at the picture they are showing us. That they are showing us now. They said picture of Buhari walking on the street of London. It turned out that the picture was taken on March 5, 2013. What's the proof for that?
They came back.
Have you been able to prove that?
We have proved it because it was an event. Technology has made this thing easy.
It's all right.
Prove it. Then they came up again with picture of Buhari granting interview in London. It turned out to be a picture of Buhari taking a Transcorp Hilton hotel.
Let's quickly turn our attention to happenings in Ekiti State. The state government has read the Riot Act now to political appointees under Dr. Kayode Fayemi administration about refusal to pay some money for vehicles monetized to them while in office. What exactly is the real situation?
The situation is people were given vehicles monetized. They were supposed to pay. So some of them paid up to like 50-60%. Some of them paid up to like 20-30%. Some of them paid up to like 70%. And in a normal circumstance, you don't even need anybody to start running after you. When you know that, okay, this vehicle, I need to pay, I have not paid though, and I won't be able to afford to pay. What you need to do is to come and say, what do I do? You come out and say, how do I pay? They have not done that.
But they have described this as a deliberate ploy by your principal to keep them, out of circulation ahead of the March 28 election.
To say that you took government vehicles, you are supposed to pay, you did not pay.
But look at what they have to say. They say that, as a matter of fact, the circumstances surrounding the monetized cars, they said under the arrangement, the officials are to pay 60% of the cost of the vehicles, while the government would pay the remaining 40%. And under this particular agreement, an agreed sum was deducted monthly from the officials' salaries. Now, they're saying that there are even severance payments that Governor Fayose had not paid to them. Let me educate you about severance payment. You only pay severance to elected
public officers. Severance is you pay to elected public officer or members of statutory boards and commissions.
But they say that
I am a special assistant to the governor.
They say that this severance payment is payable at the end of the tenure in line with the directive of the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission.
That is what I'm telling you. I am a special assistant to the governor, for instance. I am not entitled to severance payment. I am not. Because I'm not an elected officer. A commissioner is not entitled to severance payment. It is normal. Then let me ask them. These people that are talking now, I worked with Segun Oni for 3.5 years. Segun Oni left office. Did they pay severance to me? Did they pay severance to me? Salary of October 2010, I worked till October 15, 2010. My salary was not paid. Okay, I've worked till 15th of October. Shouldn't they have paid me half salary? They did not pay. They took vehicles from appointees of Segun Oni on the street of Ado Ekiti.
But are you saying that these documentation are null and void?
The issue is simple. The issue is very simple.
It was a policy
If you get a letter from me, if you get a letter of me, if I mean that you are owing me 20,000 naira and you keep silent. You get a letter from me last month, say 1st of February, and you keep silent. You now wait until I come to your house with policemen. You now begin to say that he said, why did you not reply to that letter and say you should deduct this money from the money I'm owing you?
But let's look at the allegation of a clampdown, because these APC stakeholders are of the opinion that this issue also arose before the February 14, where there was an alleged clampdown on the APC members.
Yesterday, I left Ado Ekiti 3:30 yesterday, 3:30 p.m. for Lagos. I passed through Aramoko Ekiti, headquarters of Ekiti West Local Government. They were holding rally in Aramoko Ekiti on the street. So who clamped down on them?
Given the role that your principal played in the alleged audio tape that was released, where we heard them say, really, that pick up Darabola. Did you hear that tape? Amazingly, LERE, I called you on this show when that tape came up, and what you told me precisely was that that was not the voice of your principal, that it was fabricated. That do I understand that there's a technology? I was really amazed that I heard your principal come out to say that was exactly his voice.
You heard my principal. My principal up to today has not come out to say. He said, assuming but not conceding. You see, some of these things, semantics. Assuming but not considering that this is my voice. Does that mean he has considered this is his voice? I said yesterday.
Are you saying your principal has not confirmed yet that that was his voice on that tape? Is that what you're saying on this platform?
Up to today, you see, some of these things must also be subjected to forensic examination. We are dealing with the kind of people in APC that we know. You are not with you have not I'll say with them before. I was with them before. Let me give you an instance. In 2009, after the run election, that PDP won. Segun Oni won. They pick up a guy. His name popularly called Erimoje. They gave the guy money because the guy was part of us in the PDP. They gave him money. They took him to Ghana, and they made the guy to swear to an affidavit that he was the one who burned down INEC office in Idosi. If somebody comes to you to say that I killed this person, is it the right thing to do for you to abort that person? Somebody confessed to committing crime. They took him to Ghana. They accommodated him for 2-3 months. They brought him to the tribunal to come and give evidence in support of APC.
Just a minute. Let me quickly open the phone lines to feel the pulse of viewers. If you're watching and you want to be a part of the show, all you need to do for me is turn down the volume of your TV set so that we can get a crystal clear communication on the telephone. Beyond all of these, let's quickly touch on the issues with the Ekiti State University. The ASU there have been on strike since January, I believe. What's the government doing about that?
ASU in Ekiti University went on strike 2 weeks ago, not January. And the strike is not even a strike. It's a kind of work to rule, or what they call it.
What they claim, however, is that they've not been paid for January and February.
They've not been paid for January and February. And the reason is simple. When Fayemi was governor, Fayemi refused to release subvention to EXU for 3 months. Subvention for 3 months was not released because the records are there. When you fail to pay what AXUS, what that university used to pay salary for 3 months, what will you get? You get 3 months unpaid salaries. So what we are facing in Ekiti is simple. Trying to resolve situation that was forced on us by the past. For instance, Fayemi deducted salary of civil servants for 4 months, cooperative deductions, union dues. It did not remit to the cooperative and the unions. That Ayofauche has to clear. When somebody, my salary is say 20,000 naira, for instance, I'm a member of Core TV Cooperative Society. I've mortgaged say 50,000 of the salary to the cooperative.
But of course, the salary can be 20,000 naira.
I'm just it's an example. So when you now take 50,000 naira from my salary that you're supposed to remit to the account of the cooperative, so that other people can also take loan, and you refuse to remit, it means that what you are paying is 5,000 in actual sense, and that is the situation. And in Ekiti, before Fayemi left, August and September salary was not paid. August and September last year's salary was not paid. Okay. Ayofauche has paid August now, remaining September.
Let's quickly touch on other issues. The First Lady visited Ekiti State recently. There were allegations that almost all the publicity items or posters of the opposition were defaced ahead that visit.
Do they have posters in Ekiti? The answer is no. You see, I want to challenge former Governor Kayode Fayemi. He can come here and sit. Let us sit together. I want Nigerians to ask him. Up till now, he has not led APC campaign in Ekiti. He has not been to any town or village in Ekiti to campaign for APC since he left government. And they want to win election. He is supposed to be the leader of the APC in Ekiti, Abi. Ayofauche is leading APC, PDP campaign in Ekiti. Kayode Fayemi should also be leading APC campaign. He has not done that. And they come here and tell us that do they have posters in Ekiti? They don't have.
We have to wrap up the segment now, but now that the ICC has come up in the picture to prosecute politicians who incite violence, what effort is your principal making in preaching messages of non-violence at this critical time?
You see, whoever that knows that he will win election and rule Nigeria will not want Nigeria destroyed. We have been told by Vice President candidate of the APC that if this election is rigged, and you know then any election APC loses is an election rigged. And the man has said, he has told, and people are not asking him questions, that if this election is true, quote and unquote, we form parallel government. And they have followed it up with an illegal radio station. They call it radio change. Radio station not authorized by NBC. They have come up, and they want to use that radio station to incite violence, preach message of violence. And Nigerians are not raising alarm now, because I can tell you straight off here that APC is going to lose this May 28th election.
It's all right. We might have to wait to find out and allow the electorate to make that decision. I'm just going to take one call if I can. The number should be on your screen, I believe. When you call in, please turn down the volume of your TV set so that we can get crystal clear communication. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name or where you calling from? Well, I'm afraid we lost that. Well, we'll take the phone calls later on. You can also reach us via our Twitter platform. It's at Core Digest Live, and we'd love to get all of your comments. LERE OLAYINKA, thank you very much for joining us today on Core Digest. I've been speaking with the SA to the Ekiti State Governor on communication and new media. We'll take a break now, and we'll be back with more. Stay with us.
The man on the streets have come to realize that the power to make decisions lies in the hands of the people.
The president is the most
guided person in Nigeria. And men getting to him is like, we all know it's a political propaganda, so I don't believe what he said is true.
But they are not just ordinary people.
Up to that time, when you look at Nigeria, Nigeria has been a confluence of a theater of anarchy, confusion, dichotomy, marginalization, and a lot of lamentations have been existing.
They are people of influence.
I'm not happy. How can my brother plan against me to kill me when you know that I'm in power to save you? I protected you to make things good for everybody in Nigeria. Not even I. Everybody in Nigeria.
And they are very, very important.
What we want now is who will salvage Nigeria. We are not interested in tribe or ethnicity or whatever. Who will save Nigeria?
The people, only on Core TV News.